Most people think self-care is loud. It arrives wrapped in urgency, packaged as something you must fix immediately, advertised as something you can buy your way into. It's scented, curated, and carefully displayed. Something you schedule on a calendar. Something you announce once you've finally made time for yourself. It's often expensive, and it's almost always visible. But in Japan, self-care rarely looks like that. In fact, it's so quiet that most people don't even recognize it as self-care while they're doing it. It hides in motions so small they feel automatic. In habits passed down not through instruction, but through observation. A towel folded neatly, not to impress anyone, but because the hands remember the shape. A cup of tea poured slowly, not because there's time to spare, but because rushing would disturb the moment. A pause before opening a door just long enough to straighten posture, steady breath, and arrive fully in the next space. These moments don't announce themselves. They don't demand attention, but they accumulate. And that is exactly why they work. Because Japanese self-care is not designed to pull you out of life. It's designed to soften life from the inside. To remove friction, tension, and excess strain one almost invisible habit at a time. Imagine an early morning in a quiet Japanese neighborhood. The sky is pale, not yet bright. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of damp earth, clean concrete, and last night's rain. The streets are still not because people are idle, but because the day is allowed to begin gently. There are no blaring alarms echoing through open windows. No hurried footsteps pounding the pavement. Instead, there is subtle movement. A sliding door opens quietly. A bicycle rolls past, tires humming softly against the road. Somewhere, a kettle begins to heat. Inside small apartments and wooden homes, people wake without drama. They stretch slowly. They sit for a moment. They breathe. The day is not attacked. It is entered. People ease themselves into the world, rather than being thrown into it. And this is where Japanese self-care truly begins. Not with motivation quotes taped to a wall, not with elaborate morning routines designed for productivity, but with respect. Respect for the body as it wakes. Respect for the mind as it adjusts. Respect for the moment as it unfolds. One of the most powerful habits woven into this way of living is how rest is understood. In many cultures, rest is conditional. Something you earn only after exhaustion. Something postponed until burnout forces it. You work until the body protests, until the mind frays, until rest becomes unavoidable. In Japan, rest is preventative. It's something you weave quietly into the day before exhaustion ever arrives. Short pauses are normal, expected, even encouraged. Sitting quietly for a few minutes without stimulation is not considered laziness. It's considered maintenance, a way of tuning the system before something goes wrong. On a train ride, a salary worker might close their eyes, not dramatically, not out of collapse, but naturally. The body knows this is a moment to reset. No guilt, no explanation needed. Micro-rest is part of the rhythm. These pauses may seem insignificant, but they train the nervous system to come down gently instead of crashing. The body learns that stress does not have to build endlessly. It can rise and then soften, again and again. Over time, this creates resilience. Life still demands effort. Responsibilities remain, but the system no longer feels overloaded. You feel less overwhelmed, not because life is easier, but because your body is no longer carrying everything all at once. Movement follows the same philosophy. There is no obsession with extremes, no punishment disguised as discipline. Movement is not about domination of the body, it's about cooperation with it. Walking is central. Not power walking, not steps tracked aggressively, just walking. To the station, to the store, through a park. Movement is woven into daily life so naturally that it doesn't feel like effort. Elderly people walk slowly, deliberately, through quiet streets and green spaces, not to burn calories, but to remain connected to their bodies, to feel their joints move, to stay present. Young people take the stairs without turning it into a statement. There's no performance, no comparison. The body moves because it is alive. That is enough. Even posture becomes a subtle form of care. Sitting upright is not about appearing disciplined. It's about allowing breath to move freely, reducing pressure on the spine, and preventing unnecessary tension. Standing evenly distributes weight. Walking with awareness reduces strain over time. These are not dramatic changes, but they compound quietly, protecting the body across years rather than weeks. Food, too, is approached with this same attentiveness. Meals are not rushed through as fuel stops. Eating is treated as an interaction, a moment of exchange between the body and what nourishes it. Even the simplest meal carries intention. A bowl of rice, a cup of soup, a piece of grilled fish. Temperature is noticed. Texture is appreciated. Presentation matters not for show, but because the eyes prepare the body for nourishment. Portions are smaller, yet satisfaction is deeper. Eating stops at comfort, not fullness. The body's signals are respected instead of overridden. This reduces physical heaviness, but also mental guilt. Food is not something to battle or control. It is a partner in well-being. Silence supports all of this. In Japan, silence is not something to escape. It is allowed to exist without apology. Conversations include pauses. Homes include quiet. Public spaces respect restraint. This absence of constant noise gives the mind room to settle. Thoughts slow naturally. Emotions move through without being amplified or suppressed. The nervous system rests in the gaps. This is why Japanese spaces feel calming even when they are small. It's not just minimal design, it's the absence of unnecessary stimulation. Fewer objects competing for attention. Neutral tones. Clean lines. Each item has a purpose. Because the environment is gentle, the mind does not have to stay alert. Cleaning becomes an extension of this care. Not a chore fueled by frustration, but a quiet reset. Sweeping the floor at the end of the day is symbolic. You are not just removing dust, you are clearing what is accumulated. Wiping surfaces slowly, intentionally, brings closure. It tells the body and mind that the day has been contained. You're safe to rest now. This habit begins early. Children clean their classrooms together not as punishment, but as responsibility. They learn that caring for a shared space is a form of respect. Over time, this becomes internalized. As adults, they feel calmer in orderly environments, not because they demand perfection, but because order feels familiar, grounding, and kind. Emotions are treated with the same patience. Feelings are acknowledged internally before being released externally. There is a pause between sensation and response. This space allows emotions to settle before they turn into action. It is not suppression. It is observation. By sitting with emotions, instead of reacting instantly, people develop regulation. They breathe. They choose. Conflicts soften before they escalate. Anxiety loses its grip. Over time, emotional energy is conserved rather than burned. And all of this, every small habit, every quiet pause, forms a system of care that does not overwhelm. It doesn't demand transformation. It doesn't require escape. It simply makes life lighter. One small, almost invisible habit at a time. There is also a strong emphasis on routine, but not the rigid kind that feels like control. These are not schedules that trap you. They are patterns that hold you. Morning rituals that begin the day gently. Evening rituals that soften the edges of what has passed. Seasonal rituals that remind you where you are in the year and where you are in yourself. These rhythms create predictability. And predictability is something the nervous system quietly craves. When life feels uncertain, when days blur together, routines act like anchors. They return you to something familiar, something steady. Not everything has to be decided again every day. Even small rituals carry weight. The same cup used every morning. The same sequence of movements before leaving the house. The same quiet pause before sleep. These repetitions tell the body, you've been here before, nothing is wrong. Bathing is one of the clearest expressions of this philosophy. The Japanese bath is not rushed. It is not a background activity. It is not something squeezed in between tasks. It is approached as a transition, a deliberate movement from the outer world into rest. The body is washed first, slowly, respectfully. Then comes the soak. The water is hot enough to warm the muscles deeply. The lighting is soft. Steam rises. The bathroom becomes its own small universe. Phones are set aside. Thoughts begin to loosen their grip. Muscles release tension they've been holding all day without permission. In that water, time slows. This is not about cleanliness alone. It is about signaling safety. The heat tells the nervous system it can let go. The stillness prepares the mind for sleep. When this ritual is repeated night after night, the body learns the pattern. Rest arrives more easily. Sleep becomes deeper. Recovery becomes natural instead of forced. Nature quietly reinforces these rhythms. Connection to nature in Japan does not require escape. You don't need vast forests or dramatic landscapes. Self-care can exist in small encounters. A potted plant by a window. A single tree along the street. The way the sky shifts color at dusk. These moments are noticed, not photographed, not documented, just acknowledged. Seasonal awareness is woven into daily life. Foods change with the weather. Clothing adjusts to temperature and texture. Festivals arrive and pass, marking time not with urgency, but with rhythm. This awareness keeps people grounded in time rather than lost in it. Days stop feeling like an endless blur. You remember where you are. Winter feels like winter. Summer feels like summer. And with that comes the quiet reassurance that change is natural. Nothing stays the same forever. Not the cold. Not the heat. Not the stress you're carrying right now. Even inner dialogue reflects this gentleness. There is less harsh self-criticism. Less pressure to perform improvement publicly. Doing your best quietly is respected. Growth does not need witnesses. Progress does not need applause. Improvement is personal, not performative. This removes the constant comparison that drains so much mental energy. You are no longer measuring your life against others. You are simply tending to it. Japanese self-care also includes knowing when to stop. Stopping before burnout. Stopping before resentment builds. Stopping before simplicity is replaced by excess. Leaving early without apology. Saying no without explanation. Choosing less when more is available. These choices are not dramatic acts of rebellion. They are calm decisions made in service of sustainability. Life is not something to conquer. It is something to continue. And what makes these habits so powerful is that they do not require you to become someone else. There is no reinvention, no new identity, no pressure to transform overnight. You simply adjust how you move through your existing life. You pause instead of pushing. You notice instead of ignoring. You maintain instead of repairing. And slowly, without an announcement, without a turning point that others can see, life begins to feel lighter. The body hurts less because it is no longer ignored. The mind races less because it is no longer overstimulated. The days feel fuller without feeling heavier. This is self-care that does not shout for attention. It whispers. And because it whispers, it stays. So if you are tired of routines that last a week, and disappear, tired of methods that ask too much and give too little, consider this approach instead. Choose one small habit, one pause, one moment of intention. Practice it daily, quietly, consistently. That is how real change happens. And if this way of living resonated with you, if you felt calmer just listening, then this space was created for you. Subscribe to Tick World Chronicles for more deep, thoughtful explorations into Japanese habits, quiet living, and gentle systems that make life easier without overwhelming you. Like the video if it helped you slow down, even slightly. Share it with someone who could use a softer way to care for themselves. Because sometimes, the most powerful changes are the ones no one sees except you.